There are two common systems of measurements in the United States. One is commonly used in science, but less commonly used in day-to-day life, is called the SI system. It is also known as the International System and informally, but not quite accurately, known as the metric system. Prefixes are used with the base units in the SI system to derive other units that are greater or less than the base units by various powers of 10. So the following table illustrates their usage in the SI system. That is, the prefix mega means 1 million, kilo means 1,000, hecto means 100, deca 10, deci 10th, centa 100th, milla 1,000th, and going even further, micro is 1 millionth. Because everything in the metric system is based on the number 10, unit conversions can be made by just moving the decimal point the appropriate number of places. We can determine the appropriate number of places to move the decimal point by the following chart. So figure out from your starting prefix to your ending prefix, how many places you have to go to the right or left will determine what happens to your decimal point. For instance, if I'm going from kilo to deca, that would be 2 places to the right. If I'm going from centa to deca, that would be 1 place to the left. All right, for lengths, we use a unit, the base unit of a meter. And so a megameter is 1 million meters. A kilometer is 1,000 meters. Hectometer is 100 meters. Decameter is 10 meters. And so on. A centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. A millimeter is 1,000th of a millimeter. And so on. So kind of give you a perspective about the different, about these different lengths. 1 millimeter is the thickness of a dime. 10 centimeters is about the width of a hand. 1 centimeter about your little fingernail. 1 meter is about your arm's length. The standard door is about 2 meters. A football field is roughly 100 meters. A little bit less, but roughly 100 meters. The USA is about 4 megameters. The Earth's circumference is about 40 megameters, and so on. All right, suppose we want to go from 15 hectometers to centimeters. So hecto is over here, and I would need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right. So I'll start with 15, and then move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right. So that's going to be 150,000 centimeters. If I want to go from 2,500 decimeters to kilometers, deca to kilometers means 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. So I start with 2,500, and I'll move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. So that ends up with 0.25 kilometers. For mass, the base unit of measurement is the gram. So a megagram is 1,000,000 grams, a kilogram is 1,000 grams, and so on. Kind of a note there that the kilogram was originally defined to be the mass of 1 liter of water, and is still fairly close to that. Some examples, a grain is about the weight of a milligram, the mass of a milligram. A nickel is 5 grams. A lemon is about 100 grams. A liter of water is about a kilogram. Human adult is generally between 50 to 100 kilograms. Cubic meter of water is about a megagram. So if I want to go 8.7 decagrams to milla, deca to milla would be 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. So I'll start with 8.7 and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. Add the zeros and I end up with 87,000 milligrams. For volume, the base unit is a liter. So a kiloliter is 1,000 liters, a hectoliter is 100 liters, and so on. So again, some examples. The spoonful there, roughly about 1 milliliter. That cup of hot chocolate is about 15 centiliters. A measuring cup, you see there, is about 1 deciliter. A bottle of water is 1 liter. The tank for a trailer is about a kiloliter, and so on. So if I want to go from liters to centiliters, I start there in the middle, and I go 2 places to the right. So I start with 2.5 and go 2 places to the right. That ends up with 250 centiliters. If I want to go from centa to kiloliters, here's centiliters. And I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. So I'll start with 58.585. I'll move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So that looks like to be 0.00058585 kiloliters. Now, until the United States switches to using the metric system entirely, it will be necessary to convert back and forth between the two systems. While some information is easy to use, such as that 1 inch is exactly 2.54 centimeters, other information is more cumbersome, such as 1 mile is 1.609344 kilometers. Because of this, we will round information between the two systems to the nearest hundredth or the nearest thousandth when appropriate. Also, when using the unit conversion factors between the two systems, we'll round final answers to the nearest hundredth. So to go back and forth between the two units, we will use the following information. So if I want to go from 3 miles to kilometers, basically I'll start with 3 miles. And then I notice that 1 mile is about 1.61 kilometers. So I will multiply this conversion factor of 1 mile and 1.61 kilometers. And I'll put this conversion factor in a way that essentially the miles will cross out and the only units I have left is kilometers. And now what I have left is 3 times 1.61. So pull out the calculator. 3 times 1.61, I get 4.83. There you go. So that's 4.83 kilometers, or about that much. If I want to convert 7 feet to centimeters, I'll start with 7 feet. And then what I know is 1 foot is about 0.30 meters. So there's a couple ways you can go about this, but one way is to say 1 foot is about 0.30 meters. And then recall that 1 meter is the same thing as 100 centimeters. So this will become 7 times 0.3 times 100. So 7 times 30 is 210 centimeters. And again, the feet units will cross out, the meters will cross out. What we're left with is units of centimeters. Another way we could have done this would be that 7 feet, 1 foot is 12 inches. And what we know is that 1 inch is exactly 2.54 centimeters. So I can go 7 times 12 times 2.54. So if I go 7 times 12 times 2.54, I get 213.36. So you might notice here that depending on which way we go about this, we'll get slightly different answers. And that's fine, because what we're doing is we're rounding. So we will get a little bit different depending on how we do our rounding. If I'm going to go 12.4 grams to ounces, so I'll start with 12.4 grams. And what I know is that 1 gram is about 0.035 ounces. So 1 gram is 0.035 ounces. So that crosses out the grams, which means I need to go 12.4 times 0.035. And calculator. So if I go 12.4 times 0.035, I get 0.434 ounces. So 12.4 grams is a little less than half an ounce. 5 pounds to grams. Well, from the conversions here, I know that 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms. I could also convert to ounces first and then to grams. So one way I can do this is 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms. So that converts to kilograms. And then 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So if I go 5 times 0.454 times 1,000, I get 2,270 grams. And I'll leave it to you, but another way you could set this up is we can go 5 pounds. 1 pound is 16 ounces. And then from the conversion at the bottom there, 1 ounce is 28.35 grams. So we could have also done it this way. And what happens is we'll have 5 times 16 times 28.35. If I want to go pints to decaliters, so I start with 60 pints. And what I know is 1 pint is 0.473 liters. And then deca means 10 liters. So 10 liters is 1 decaliter. So that gets rid of pints, gets rid of liters. And so we're going to do 68 times 0.473 divided by 10. And there's the calculator. So if I go 60 times 0.473 times, or not times, I'll go times 0.1. So 2.833 decaliters. With the calculator. So about 2.838 decaliters. And 8 hectoliters to fluid ounces. Well, if you're at the T table, 1 hectoliter is 100 liters. And then I know that 1 liter is 33.8 fluid ounces. So 1 liter is 33.8 fluid ounces. So it looks like we want to do 8 times 100 times 33.8. Again, that gets rid of my other units, so I'm left with just fluid ounces. So I'll go 8 times 100 times 33.8. So 27,000 fluid ounces. And I think this is the last one. if I want to go 60 kilometers per hour to feet per second, here I need to convert the kilometers to feet, and I need to convert the hours to seconds. So let's start this off. 60, remember the word per is your division. So I can think of this as 60 kilometers over 1 hour. And what I know is, let's see what I know. I want to convert from kilometers to feet. Okay. So I know 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So 1 kilometer, 0.62 miles. And I know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So that gets rid of the kilometers and miles. So now my units are in terms of feet on top and hours on the bottom. So this will give me feet per hour. But I want to know feet per second. So an hour is made up of 60 minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. I'll put the hour on top. But that way I can cross off hours. And what I know is that 1 minute is 60 seconds. And that gets rid of minutes. So the units I have left is I have feet on top and I have seconds on the bottom. So if I carry out all this, this will give me my units in terms of feet per second. So you could cross out the 60s, but I'll just put them all in. What I have is 60 times 0.62 times 5,280 divided by 60 for the 60 minutes and divided by another 60 for the seconds. So that comes out to be 54.56 feet per second. All right. So it's a bit more complicated, but again, if you keep in mind these unit conversion factors, what we want to do is we want to keep crossing off the units until we're left with the units we want to end with. So I started with kilometers per hour, and I converted from kilometers to miles to feet, and then I converted the hours to minutes to seconds. So now it's feet per second.